I remember one night, oh wait, no. I was working at Whataburger on College Street, and Baptist was right across the street. I was pregnant with Junior, who came out with 2 teeth and his thumbs up, and he wasn't crying. And I thought I had did something wrong because I had been taking pain medication for my teeth. And you know you can't take a lot of shit when you're pregnant because you don't want to hurt the child, right? And so, anywho, I'll be all over the place. I have so many stories. Most of them I have more painful stories than I do happy stories, which is, sad. Like Casey said, it's okay to be sad. I tell people what I've been through in this world and maybe the next world. I believe we all have these different parts of us that's reached out into these different dimensions and spaces and times. And I may sound kind of weird or crazy for saying so, but it's just my belief. But your memory is always attached to wherever you are in this universe. So it causes you to remember whatever you've been through in the past, or, that other person, or past life or reincarnation. I'm just such a fan and a believer, I believe that kids, you are chosen by your parent, by your kids, or there's just a lot of evil, and then there's, which is your feet, and then there's heaven, which is your head, the crown of your head. What rank you choose to stay in is totally on you. But anywho, I just feel like maybe, before I leave whatever world or whatever decade or whatever, not decade, but whatever dimension, whatever time travel, or I end up in, space, I feel that maybe one day my recordings and whatever I am can reach somebody that may be going through something. You can, I've learned you can be the baddest ass female. I fought niggas. It's just something you had to do growing up, I got the motherfucking war wounds to show it. Like, my body is marked the fuck up, back, feet, bottom of the feet. And I look back on it, like, and I used to beat some of them niggas up. Like, I was like that. And when you stand with other people and you wearing their clothes and their shoes and shit, motherfuckers tell you shit like, oh, that's why your mama in jail and you can't do this and she a crackhead and this and that. And of course, bitch, what you said about my mama? Beating your ass off the top. Good fuck who you is and what she's done to me and how she's not here for me. Keep her name out your mouth. That's what being a true child does. They defend their mom because of what she's on or what she got going on. That motherfucker used to steal my shit just to go get crack. Beat my ass one time because I took a pen to school and she couldn't find a pen to make an old school crack jar bottle, with the baby food jar and the Brillo pad and the ink pen at the top. I got my ass tore up because when I got home, don't take no more of my pens. I needed it for school, though. But that's just an example. She was sick. She's been through a lot. But regardless, I wouldn't let any fucking body hurt her. I would die. I would have died for her. Regardless, I feel like that was the person who gave me life. Regardless of how mean or fucked up she was in the head, no, we don't have a lot of good memories. We don't. But that was something that gave me life, and I had to respect it. Because it's in that bullshit Bible you motherfuckers always trying to get somebody to read. Honor thy mother, thy father. So that's the bullshit code I was living on. And I still do, regardless if I don't believe in the Bible or not, it's a code. You know, the street codes, that's a law. Nigga, no women, no kids, and don't hit your fucking mama back. I don't know where you from. I know where I'm from. But your memory is a good thing to have. I talk to my higher power spirits all the time, and I'm cussing and shit at them, crying at them. You know, what test? This ain't a fucking test. Right? You know, you're not even motherfucking pushing me. I've already done this already. So what's the test? You know, when you start from a child of being molested and having to fight for food and eating with the roaches and rats and shit and being teased because you're smelling like piss and shit because the water's off, and you staying with different family members who are already on crack, so you're wearing the same clothes 4 times a fucking week to school. You know, wearing hand-me-downs. I got coins on my toes now. That's where that come from. So when a motherfucker say, oh, I'm gonna test her and see about this, nigga, I've been tested all my life. You niggas ain't did shit yet. Beat to a motherfucking pulp. Drug down a motherfucking hallway. Like that movie scene I just watched. Tina Turner, remember that time Ike drug her ass down the hallway, beating her up, and went through that same shit. But imagine being 7 months pregnant. Oh, wow. And you're protecting your fetus. Hey, kill me, but don't hurt the baby. Punch me in the stomach while I was pregnant and shit. You know? Or having your child ask you, who did this bruise, mama? You know? You okay? Or have them go in one room and you can hear them crying like a motherfucker while you getting your ass towed up by a man in the other room. LOL. Yeah. Man, I got a lot of fucking bad memories. God damn. You ever been standing at a guy with my whole family, like, family, like, waking up at 6, imagine being 6 years old and sleeping on the floor in the front room and waking up every fucking night out your sleep because somebody got their hands in your little pussy. You thinking that's the norm. That's how family love each other. Then when you try to tell somebody what's going on, they turn the other fucking cheek and say, don't start your shit. Behave. So it is. Like, I was told that. And motherfucker went to jail and got right out. Sounds familiar? No justice. That nigga got away with molesting me too. Went to jail, got right out. Bitch ass nigga died of a heart attack in his sleep. Them 3 motherfucking bitches. My mom. I mean, I call them that. two aunts and my mom was in the car crying when this nigga died. We was on Grand Street. I'm walking down. I got drunk like a motherfucker that night. I'm like, look at these bitches in this motherfucker. I'm 12. How old was I? 11? I mean, what I had on. That's crazy. I had on some blue jeans and this long sleeves silk-like shirt, maroon, black. It was like a bandana theme type, you know. I can't pronounce it, but I remember the shirt I had on the day that motherfucker died. He went to jail, y'all, and got right out because he served in the army. Because of who he know. You see how the pattern starts to repeat itself, and when a motherfucker say, oh, you tripping? No, it's just patterns being repeated. And I'm just like, why, you know? Hey. Anywho, that happened, you know? Yeah. Poetic justice. Oh, man, I have a lot of stories, man. I can write my own book. I don't need nobody to do that shit for me. Give me my advance. I can be very creative when I want. Fuck, I need somebody else to do that for. They don't even know me. One time, I was in 7th grade. I think the water was off. You know, I was wearing clothes the same clothes at least twice a week. You know, I didn't have a lot of clothes. But anywho, the class was even Mr. Coburn. I remember his name. There it is. Austin Middle School. I used to like him till that day. Like, he was because I love social studies. You know, I love learning about history. You know, and math and history was like my favorite subject. I was badass in it. You know, even though it was bullshit. Now, you know, now I know that, but, you know, social studies, and he made it so fun to, you know, to want to learn, you know what I'm saying? Even though I was going through shit, staying with people, when I got to that class, it was always, you know, I would be in a better place, you know, because he made learning fun. You know, I want to be a teacher one day so I can do the same thing. And anyway, one day, you know, I smelled, you know, I could, you know, but you don't know, you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Kids in the background were talking about me and shit, and I just put my head under my desk, and I remember just crying. I had a pink blue jean skirt on, and you know, I wear all the time, at least 3 times a week, because I thought it was cute. You know, I have a lot of cute clothes. And I don't know what the color shirt on, and I think some white K-Swiss shoes that was hand-me-down from my cousin Kizzy that I had to fight to get any fucking way. Anywho, long story short, this girl, Felicia, she had long, pretty black hair, big eyes. She was pretty. She was very popular too. I thought she was coming over to, you know, she squatted over by me, and, you know, like as if she was, are you okay? And so I'm thinking, you know, okay, hey, somebody's coming to console me and, you know, see if I'm okay. But she said, don't cry, we're sorry, you know. And I got up and, you know, wiped my eyes, and as she was walking past me, you know, she was doing like this, fanning her nose, like, oh, she stink, like, and everybody started laughing again. Even Mr. Coburn, my favorite fucking teacher, laughed at the shit too. I became rebellious after that, I think. Started smoking weed, you know, drinking beer inside the school. Mom locked up, just had a miscarriage. You know, it's a lot of shit going on at that time at a young age. Yeah, I got suspended for the rest of the school year because the girl I mentioned on somebody else's page, she told on me I was smoking weed inside the girl's bathroom, but I became rebellious. I just, like, fuck learning. I don't want to learn anymore. You know, people talking about you, they doing this, they doing that. You know, fuck it. There's no hope. Daddy don't love you. He's somewhere smoking crack some motherfucking where. Family members, they treat you like shit, but you're babysitting though. You learn how to cook at a young age and help others with their homework because you're very fucking smart. Yeah, like, that's just, man, I'm telling you, it's a lot. If I sit down and think about it, I can come up with a lot of more horrible stories that I've gotten over. I accomplished, I achieved, I, what is that big ass word? Overcome. I've healed from, you know. But to have your innocence take away from you at a young age, you know, and to think for a long period of time that that's the way love is expressed, letting a motherfucker feel on you and touch you in inappropriate ways, that's the norm. That's what my mind frame used to be. So I think I stayed in that abusive relationship. That was the norm for me. And to watch family, you know, be on his side, you know, I that part I didn't care. You know, I knew people, you know, I was like, wait, y'all watching me in the grocery store. And you know what? Nobody, Beaumont is small as fuck, right? Nobody fucking came to check on me. Not a lot. Unless they wanted me to babysit their kids. That's the only time motherfucker came by. They would see me in the grocery stores and just be like, they ain't even, motherfucker, you know, I came in, my bitch asked me in the grocery store, was I okay? You know, and this is my blood. You know? My head hurts. I think I'm crying all night. It's not really sad tears, you know. I've never been depressed, you know. I've never, you know, I get anxiety, I guess, because that's the word for me, but what person don't get nervous? You know, that's not nothing to diagnose me with, because that's everybody in the fucking world. They get nervous from things, you know, it happens. I got through that struggle. When I found out that a person can get a check, you know, from the shit I've been through, I'm like, wait, I've been through that. Why I ain't getting a check? And then, you know, if you wait a whole year, you can get that back paid. You know, I think it was like $30,000 they approved me for. I didn't get all of it, but, you know, I was like, oh, at the time I'm thinking, okay, that's the easy money. I got 9 kids, a bullshit ass husband that ain't never fucking worked more than a fucking month. We need that money. Stopped working full time. Got the diagnosis. You know, and I really did go through counseling and shit, you know, so I wasn't lying about the shit. I was just being honest, not because I'm depressed or like, oh, you're depressed. No, I don't have none of those motherfucking symptoms. But I have gone through that shit though. So now a bitch give me $1,200 or like this month, $900 and something dollars, and say have fun. Bitch, you just reminded me of every motherfucking lick. Every time I get this check, it's like, yeah, it's gonna help with the bills, this and that, because, you know, I'm not working and there's no other money coming from no fucking where else. So I'm reminded every fucking month of how I'm getting this check and why I'm getting it. That's not a motherfucking blessing. Oh, you got your check this month. Nigga, do you know what I've been through for this $1,200? Well, $987 this month. Black eyes. This motherfucker went back to the police. And they could have taken me to jail, my God. And he ain't even say he's sorry. He don't have to though. You know, some men have this ego or this power or, you know, especially if they have money, oh my God. They don't feel like they have to do shit because they can do what they want to do. Because of who they are, what rank they stand in the world, or how much money they got and how they're connected, or, you know. Nigga, it could be just like it's always been, just me standing alone through every fucking battle that I've had to endure in my life. Nobody was there. Bitches barely even said I'm sorry. So I'm used to it. A motherfucker not apologizing when they know they wrong and they should. My mom was a prime example of that. I would get my ass whooped, take dicks for other motherfuckers, and because I didn't want her getting beat on for some shit she started. And I didn't want to have, you know, because I would have fought for her. But here I is, I take the licks, I get busted lips and shit, and this motherfucker didn't apologize. So I'm used to it. Not talking, well, yeah, I am talking down on my family because they're grimy. Not all of them, but you know who you are. You know, anytime I've done dirt, it's to benefit me and other people. You know, I do, you know, I try to, like, you know, I don't even call it dirt. It's not, I haven't done any dirt. Everything I've done was to benefit me because this is the world we're fucking living in. You know, it's either learn how to adapt or get ran the fuck over. Don't wear your emotions on your fucking shoulders every goddamn day. You know, I don't. Majority of the time, I'm upset. You know, I don't show it, you know. Shit that's happened to me in the past, and now it's just being brought back to my attention. It's just being surfaced back up, you know. Like, you don't know how many altars, you know, I've had to endure to leave that shit there. You know, just when I was going to church, singing in church choir, all that good shit. Yeah. Got baptized twice, you know. So you don't know how many churches and meditations and prayers and I've already had to leave my past to get where I am today in this world. So to have it resurface and, you know, to have to go through the same shit again. It's not emotional. You know, I cry because I'm a fucking big ass crybaby. And yeah, I cry because I just feel sad for them. Not for me. I'm not depressed. Bitch, I'm happy. Fuck I got to be depressed about. I have no control of what a bitch want to do to me. Just do your best. You don't know what the fuck I've already been through. And by the grace of God, this face is still attached. Barely. Barely. Smile. Again, I speak on women being abused because men get abused too. So, you know, hell yeah, men get abused by women all the time. You know, I don't fuck, you know, I don't doubt that, but I only can speak where I've come from, you know. And like I was trying to do in this world, you know, just, you know, if you're getting your ass whooped by a man, get out of it. Because the motherfucker might hit you the wrong way. And it's, you know, sometimes men, they you know, that's not their intentions. You know, they have a lot of, I mean, I'm not defending these niggas because you shouldn't put your hand on a woman in no fucking type form. I don't give a fuck what you're going through. But, you know, some women, you know, they hit women back and they just react. But again, I only can speak on what I've been through. I've never put myself in that situation to make a man want to hit me back.